Healthy Kids and Family Chiropractic in Markham, Woodbine Avenue. And what's the official address, Dr. Dimitri? That's your microphone right there. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm saying welcome, but
you
should be welcoming me.
Welcome to Healthy Kids and Family Chiropractic in Markham. And the official address is 7800 Woodbine Avenue. It's in Markham. Don't get confused with Etobicoke Woodbine, because some people go to Woodbine Truck and they think Woodbine is there. So no, it's in Markham, close to 401 and 400 or Highway 7. And Unit 109, it's a separate entrance from the north side. And we don't have a sign on the road, so don't try to look for the sign on chiropractor on the road. We don't have it. And but the building name would be Woodbine Business Center. So we have a separate entrance from the north wing.
Yeah, it's around the side of the building, and there's adequate parking on the side of the building. So stop by and say hello. If you happen to be in the area, we would love to see you. But you blew my mind today because, you know, I was thinking to myself, in fact, I was telling some other people, it's been at least 7 or 8 years since I was at Dr. Dimitri's office to do a live show. And then you told me it was 2013?
That's right. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's 12 years ago, yeah.
Good Lord.
All of that time, yeah, it's been a while. But we are so pleased to have you. I'm so pumped. This is amazing. And you know, I'm mostly amazing the people who came from radio station like we have here, Perry and Joyce and Patricia and many other people who came to Healthy Kids and Family Chiropractic to improve their health. And we want to invite them to be part of the live show and part of the Healthy Kids and Family Chiropractic family. Same as WDCX, we consider you as our family because we serve people together and most importantly serve Lord Jesus Christ together. So thank you for coming from Buffalo.
Oh, man, it's quite a drive. Let me say that. In fact, the last time I was here, there was a traffic accident on the 404 getting back to the 401. Then there was one on the 401. Then there was one on the 427. And then there was one on the QEW. I didn't get home till 11 o'clock at night. And that's probably why I haven't been back for 12 years. No, just kidding.
Well, let me bless you with this, okay? So enemy is always on the way of the good deeds. Consider this as like an enemy attack on you.
Exactly.
So praise the Lord that you came home alive and safe, and everybody will be safe on the road today as well and everywhere, wherever you are.
Yeah, and you know, we're getting like a little bit of an audience here. Feel free to grab a chair, sit down, put it in the middle of the room, whatever you want to do. Maybe, Matt, if you don't mind, maybe put a couple of chairs over there if people want to sit down and hang out with us a little bit. But, you know, one of the things we wanted to start by doing, and I've heard parts of your story before, and we're going to meet other, you know, members of your team, some of the other doctors here at Healthy Kids and Family Chiropractic. So that's going to be a new addition. But there's a lot of people who haven't really heard your story about how you got into chiropractic work and why you're so passionate about all of this. But I love this story because there's no question you're doing what God created you to do. This is something that he put deep in your heart. And I just want to give you a chance to tell some of that story. Yeah,
that's amazing. Actually, you know, my life been actually transformed and I believe even saved from physical point of view, from health point of view, because I was born in Belarus, and many people right now know this country, not like 25 years ago when I came to Canada, like people asking where Belarus is. So now because it's on international map, so people know where Belarus is. And in Belarus, it's a mandatory military service for every male. And starting from grade 1, they screen boys for having a proper spinal alignment. So meaning if you have a scoliosis, then you won't be qualified to go to military. And because military is obligated, it's kind of an important thing for citizens of Belarus. And one day in grade 1, military truck comes in with the X-ray equipment and everything. They scan all the boys, and then they took X-ray of mine, and they found scoliosis in my spine. And then follow-up has been made with my parents, so they've been called to basically for medical examiners, whatever, and they were saying, well, we found in your son scoliosis. It was about 18 degrees, and then they said there's 2 options. Either do a surgery or you can do whatever you want, but most likely he won't be qualified for military service anyway. Well, my mom, many people know, but many people don't know, she is a military pilot, okay? and she's a very intelligent woman. So she said, okay, so what are the options in orthopedic surgeon or whatever office was there? And they say, well, we're going to install Harrington rods into the spine. So it's basically stainless steel hardware with multiple screws along the spine, and that's going to correct scoliosis. And because my mom is very technical, she's like, okay, so he's only like 7 years old, 6 years old. How's the stainless steel hardware is going to grow? Because we want him to grow. And she said, by the way, military is not a problem. Whether he goes or don't go, I don't care, in the sense of, like, if he goes, it's good. If he doesn't go, I want my son to be healthy, obviously, right? So they said, well, he would need probably to have a couple of other surgeries to replace smaller hardware with the bigger hardware. And in this surgery, he would need to have 6 months rehab. And most likely he had to skip some kind of a school and be on medication during like post-surgical recovery and so on and so forth. So, and they say, very honest. Why? Because in back home, back then, communist country, all doctors, they don't have really any motivation to say any for or against, so they just being blunt open, right? So they just say what it is. And they said, well, he's going to have a growth retardation a little bit because it will restrict his growth. He won't probably participate in the sports. And because university requires entrance exams, because he will miss lots of school, most likely he won't go to university because it's a big competition there. And and then like 6-7 hours surgery, he may have allergic reaction or whatever, may not wake up. And if he want to be active, if he may break hardware, he may become paralyzed, so on and so forth. So my mom quietly listened to all of this and said, well, thank you very much. Is there anything else? And back then in Belarus, there weren't really actually qualified chiropractors, but it was a surgeon who quit doing surgery, and he was working with athletes in a specific, like, it's called dispenser, but it was like a polyclinic for elite level athletes, so national teams and so on and so forth. And then he got self-taught chiropractic because his wife on a diplomatic mission, and he was asking her to bring us books from the abroad, like England and whatever. And he learned chiropractic through books. And then basically my mom, some kind of through like black channels, you can't go right there right away because it's all controlled by the government anyway. So she found a way how to get me to see this doctor, and then obviously it was she has to pay for it, and although it's supposed to be free, but it was a form of normal cultural establishment to bribe the doctors. Okay, so and then she started basically talking to this doctor, and he said, well, don't worry, ma'am, he needs an adjustments and he needs to do some exercises and he's going to be totally fine. So my mom chose the option 2.
Okay.
So, and what happened, I didn't have any surgeries. My scoliosis has improved. I became national level swimmer. I swam for national team of Belarus and Soviet Union, and I don't have growth retardation. I got 3 university degrees, speak multiple languages.
And no hardware.
And I don't have a hardware in my spine. So, but actually what happened, I want to say, when actually I received this God's blessing to become a chiropractor, because as a kid, you don't know what's normal, what's not normal. You're just a kid. You just enjoy life and do whatever you do. So after the first adjustment that I received, it's the first time I was able to take a deep breath through my lungs, and I'm like, wow.
Really?
And then I didn't know God back then, but now I can look back and say that was a God's moment, because that's what actually inspired me to become a doctor like this. Because I couldn't breathe normally, and then after first adjustment, my breathing has improved. So,
but did you know you couldn't breathe normally?
No, because I'm a kid. I don't know any difference. If you never take a deep breath, you don't know how it really feels or what it is.
Yeah.
But after this first adjustment, I'm like, wow, I can breathe better. This is amazing. So, and basically what happened, I pursued this career, and, Belarus does not provide formal education. So I guess God created all the challenges and whatever it takes to bring me to Canada, and I had already my master's degree in biochem. So I was admitted to chiropractic college, and first I went to massage therapy college. I got my registered massage therapy, and then I got acupuncture, and then during all this time I worked as a massage therapist and acupuncturist, going through chiropractic college, and then that's it. And later on I pursued working with kids because I was a kid, and that's changed my life, and I understood the need and importance of the X-ray and look at the spine from not only from outside but from the inside to have a clinical data and to be very objective, and that's my story. So my life been transformed by this. And the second time, when basically I grew up old, like 21 years old, and I stopped chiropractic care because although it really had such a dramatic impact, I didn't understand why to continuously have care. And then we immigrated, I got married, got kids, all this normal life nonsense, mortgage, education, loans, whatever. And by age of 32, I had like a stroke, TIA, and I was and I was on the second year of chiropractic college, and that's why when I went to obviously emerge, and I'm grateful that doctors are great in emergency in the medical care. They do what they need to be done. They helped me, and but I was hemiplegic, like halfway paralyzed, right? So my wife said, "Listen, we're gonna do whatever it takes to get you healthy again." And I started seeing chiropractor again, and slowly, within 5 to 6 years, I fully rehabbed from the stroke, and here I am.
Unbelievable.
Yes, and since then till now, I never stopped being a patient, chiropractic patient myself.
Okay, so, and then somebody might say, well, how are you doing today? And you're almost 48 years old now, right?
Well, I am 48. I'm going to be 49.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah.
And you're originally from Belarus, and now, and soon you will have lived half your life in Canada.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so you're coming up to that milestone. But as far as how healthy are you? I was talking to Dr. Matt earlier.
Yeah.
And he said that you guys were out kiteboarding on Lake Ontario over the weekend.
Yesterday, yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, yesterday, yeah.
Oh, man, it's tough, but somebody's got to go out there with a sail and a surfboard, right? And hang out in the middle of the lake. But, I mean, you're active, you're healthy, and so you continue getting adjusted and participating in chiropractic care even today.
Yeah, of course. I'm a regular patient of my own clinic, let's say, because we have 3 doctors here who are excellent doctors, and they take care of me.
You want me to give you an adjustment?
No, thanks. Okay. Unless you get your license first. Why not?
He's not interested in that. Okay. Just checking, checking.
Yeah, but thanks for offering.
No problem.
I just don't want to give them more job after your adjustment.
Okay. All right, so real quick, we're going to meet Perry in just a second, one of your patients. But as we went into the break, I asked the question, where does chiropractic fit in the idea that God has created our bodies to heal itself? Sometimes things get in the way of that healing.
That's right.
Like impingements, right?
That's right. Yeah.
I know that term from talking to you before, but describe your thoughts on that, because, the tagline that we say when we talk about you is that you move the bone, God does the healing. Amen.
That's right. So it's very, very simple. Actually, it's so simple that it may insult some intelligent minds. So think about this. In Bible, Quran, or Torah, everywhere in the book of Vedas, first book of creation, says that God breathed the life into nostrils of the man. In Bible, Moses wrote it, or Torah. Mm-hmm. So Moses did not know neuroanatomy. He didn't know why would he need to say nose. But nose is direct pathway to the brain. That's why, for example, if patients administered some medication, drugs, puffers, or even oxygen, so there are tubes going into the nose because it has a direct path to the brain.
Right.
And the reason for this is, a few thousand years later, finally, neuroscience caught up with the theology of all of this and realized that actually brain controls the function and healing of all organs, all tissue, and everything in the body, creating this perfect harmony that's called health. Mm-hmm. So these messages from the brain flow through the spinal cord and 33 pairs of nerves, and they go everywhere in the body. And through this perfect communication to the brain and from the brain, where everything's structured and function well, then this God's power can reach those organs, those tissues, those cells, and the body can stay in the perfect state of health.
Here's a dumb question.
No dumb.
Okay.
No dumb question. No.
33 pairs.
Yeah. Right and left.
Okay. No, the reason I asked that, okay, right and left, but I was wondering if, like, so when a message travels from the brain to an organ through the nerves to say, hey, you should, function better or whatever, and then the organ says, yeah, but I need more, nutrients or something.
Yeah, so then the brain can rewire
but the signal's
message.
Going back and forth on the same nerve.
Multiple nerves.
Okay.
So multiple nerves. We have actually two different sets of nerves. It's called sensory nerves.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going into the brain. All information, for example, from the organ going to the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And we have motor nerves that are actually going out of the brain. So the healing flows through the motor nerves or outgoing nerves from the brain. But the sensory goes in. So all the senses, all the perception, it's a multiple loops of communication. And just to understand simplicity of this and complexity of this at the same time, each neuron has 150,000 connections who work together. Like imagine we would have 150,000 friends, each of us, that work in exact the same way, in exact the same direction to preserve the body and promote health in it. That would be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes two people cannot find, common ground
right.
in everything. So let alone, now that the creation is really shining there. So communication from the organ to the organ, from the brain to the brain, it's a continuously. So for example, if you say, okay, muscle need more oxygen because you decided to run.
Mm-hmm.
So then brain starts bringing the messages to the lungs, to breathe deeper, to diaphragm to work better, for heart rate to increase, for blood pressure to increase, for vasodilation to happen. It's all through the nerves. And then the nutrients flow to these muscles, your muscle expand a little bit, metabolic rate happening, muscle produce energy, and you run. But you don't think like this.
Never.
All you do is just to go for a run.
Right.
And the brain on the back orchestrates all of this. That's why often it's called autonomic nervous system. So it functions, 95% of our nervous system is autonomic function, meaning when you fall asleep, you're losing the consciousness. You don't think about your heartbeat, your blood pressure. You don't think about anything. You see the dreams or don't see the dreams, whatever. Turn sometimes right and left, maybe snore. Just kidding. But the brain on the background controls all your functions, your heart rate, your vitality, organs rate, kidney filters, urine, everything. And then brain wants to wake you up because kidneys send the message or bladder send the message that it's full, then brain wakes you up and you're like, oh, I need to go to washroom. You didn't dream about this. So it's all happened because of this amazing communication to the nervous system.
So you describe very simply a super complex system that functions perfectly unless there's an impingement, unless there's a problem. But wait, I'm saying that I'm going to give you an advance warning, everybody. I'm kidding when I say this. But what a lucky break that a big bang and the pool of goo turned into evolution, and this all happened by accident. That's unbelievable. What? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, totally.
How in the world could anybody believe that? What you're describing is more advanced than any computer that has ever existed.
Exactly, and probably will ever make. In fact, everything we make, we mimic ourselves and the brain function. Like brain is like CPU of the computer.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, the reason why it's called Darwin theory, because it's never been proven. Right. That's why it's still a theory.
Right.
So, and in fact, as a doctor and a scientist, I can tell you, there is an adaptation, but there is no evolution. Adaptation means that we may have two identical twins with exactly same genetics. One child is set in the proper environment, fed, nurtured well, loved and cared for, and another one was set in the wrong environment, were abused and malnourished, and we can have two different people as a result of that, but genetics were the same. And another thing, so we do have a huge adaptation. So adaptation to good caused health and vitality, and adaptation to bad caused sickness and disease. And we'll talk about subluxation when we have a nerve interference and the power flow interference. But, I'd love to give Perry a chance to share his story.
Yeah,
How
so
did it actually
introduce-
manifested in the real person? You know,
Okay.
like not just saying.
So this, you know, we've heard from Dr. Dimitri, but now we're going to hear from actual patients. So that's like an ice cream cone that needs to be right here, and that will not bite you.
That's right.
So, but Perry, welcome to NBL. It's good to have you with us. And you're a patient of Dr. Dimitri. When he talks like this, do you feel like he knows what he's talking about? Because I sure do.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. He's very gifted, very talented, very knowledgeable, and he delivers incredible results that will help
The whole team of
yeah.
us.
Yeah, Dr. Irina, Dr. Matthew as well, of course, yeah.
So what's your story? I mean, obviously you've experienced some benefit because you're here to talk about it, and that's kind of risky. You're going on the radio. We say there's somewhere between 300,000 and 400,000 people listening, and that would be my son Zach, my wife, and my best friend. That's 3, and maybe as many as 400,000, but somewhere between 300,000 and 400,000 people listening at this very moment. But seriously, it's your opportunity to talk about what you've experienced here. So tell us your story.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'd like to say that you 400,000 people out there, listen very, very carefully. I was one that was suffering from spinal back pain, tightness of the muscle in my neck.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of you, WDCX. I heard about Dr. Dimitri. So I called.
Really?
And I booked an appointment with the office, came for the free 2-hour session of basically what is chiropractic care, medicine, and also received an x-ray right away, and even a treatment, my very first treatment, all in one session. And
Hold on 1 second, just clarity. First we had examination. So Perry booked an appointment. We did
Yes.
all the examination x-ray because we need to look at them, analyze them. And then he came for the report of findings, which he described as a session, educational session. And then after that, we give recommendations and then we adjust it. Just to have a clarity of the flow. Because sometimes people think that, they come and get adjusted right away. No, we have to examine you first.
yeah, okay, well,
That's the
it all happened
sequence.
within the
same week.
within 2 days.
Yeah,
within
so
2 days.
2 visits. Yes.
Okay, so go ahead.
Okay, and then Dr. Dimitri had me laid down on the treatment table, and he worked his magic on my skull, my brain, my head, and when I got up, it was like I had increased range of motion. The tightness within my neck was gone. It was just wonderful experience. Yeah, looking forward to the next one.
So I'm going to be completely transparent. You gave me an examination today,
Yeah.
and you evaluated my neck range of motion, which was pretty limited, right?
Non-disclosure. He's doing it himself.
I mean, I played college football.
Yeah.
I had a couple of injuries,
That's right.
including the final game my senior year. I thought I broke my neck when I got hit on the top of the helmet. There was about 3 minutes to go in the game, and I remember hearing, the sound like when people crack their knuckles, that multiple cracking sound.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
heard
Yeah.
that, and I went to stand up, and my legs didn't work. I couldn't stand up.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so they took me out on a stretcher, took me to the hospital, whatever, evaluated me. By God's grace, I don't know, I did not break my neck. I don't know exactly what happened, but they gave me a muscle relaxant that kept me, I was out of it for about 18 hours. It was unbelievable after I took that. And then I was in a neck brace collar kind of thing for quite a while. But, throughout my life, I've had episodes where I feel pain from the back of the lower part of my skull, down my arm to my pinky finger, a burning sensation and
Yep.
stuff. And I told you earlier today that
Yeah.
sometimes we pull up to the corner in the car, and I can sort of look to the left, especially if I turn my whole body, but I can't really look to the right very well. And I say, "Hey, Mare," it's my wife, Mary, "is there anything coming on the right?" And she tells me whether it's okay or not. She's kind of learned to do that for me. But look at Perry. He's got pretty good range of motion there. You couldn't do that before?
No, I couldn't do that before. I was just demonstrating to Neil and Dr. Dimitri my range of motion.
Completely.
Yeah, turning to the right, turning to the left. It's just uninhibited. And before...
No
I
pain?
No pain, zero pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very flexible, yeah.
Cool.
Interesting. All right. So obviously, anyone else experiencing that kind of thing, like me, for instance, should come and see Dr. Dimitri.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Call in, book an appointment. Yeah, you won't regret it. And say goodbye to your pain and say hello to health.
I love that. All right, how much did you pay this guy? That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I pay him.
Okay. So just let's dissect this a little bit. Okay. So let's do a little bit dissection on the Neil's episode of the traumatic injury in the sport. So why do you think doctors give you muscle relaxant? Because when the spine moves out of alignment, muscles have this guardian reflex. They increase in tone and trying to protect the spine so it doesn't go any farther to continue damage. And why do you think your legs didn't work? Because legs controlled by the nerves.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had a shocking experience, obviously this power that we're talking about got interrupted and your legs stopped working. So, besides, great idea would have been to be examined by a qualified chiropractor and to see what's going on. So then they don't have to give you muscle relaxant because that may be a protective spasm that protecting your neck and which is slowly wind away. And then you got a subluxation adaptation. That's why when the spine is out of alignment, it's losing its function, mobility, because each vertebrae has 6 joints and each joint has an axis of rotation. And if you tweak this mechanism even a little bit, then your body, your vertebrae doesn't work very well, does not move very well.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's just a destruction of the bone and uncomfortable range of motion loss. But most importantly, it provides tension on the nerves, spinal cord, brain stem if it's in the neck, and the pinky finger, that's brachial plexus. Those nerves are leaving the neck that allows your function of the entire arm.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
by the way, see how I have my arm propped up?
of course.
It relieves some of that pain that I feel.
Of course. Yeah, totally.
I now do it even if I'm probably not experiencing the
Exactly.
pain. Only because it's become such a habit, but I always prop my right arm up.
That's right. Yeah, so you creating an adaptive qualities to your injuries, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, Perry, go ahead.
And Neil, if you don't get that properly treated, the next thing is you'll be walking with the cane, and you don't want that.
Exactly.
Your quality of life just begins to deteriorate rapidly. So you want to get treated, have a chiropractic treatment.
Well, I'm grateful for the exam Dr. Dimitri gave me today because he's going to end up sending a report, and he's going to help me understand what I need to do to get ongoing care, although commuting to Markham is going to be kind of hard.
No, you're not going to commute to Markham. No. Listen, it's not the purpose of the existence of Healthy Kids and Family Chiropractic and these wonderful doctors who are actually taking care of me and many of my patients when I'm not available, Dr. Matthew, Dr. Irina. So it's not to capture you or some kind of gain some business from you. No, we want to get you understanding of your body, understanding how you can help yourself. And we'll gladly refer you to Buffalo or wherever you are close by. The idea is that if we can help more people understand how they can help themselves, I'll be ultimately happy because it serves the purpose of me being a doctor. And by the way, I will never be able to pretend that I can help everyone. This is just not realistic idea. And second of all, you have to have a chiropractor nearby or within a logical travel distance, because traveling, it can also cause spinal misalignment sitting in the car for 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of kidding about the commute to Markham, but my point is,
you
sure is
here
nice
once
to know.
every 13 years, so next time I'll see you another 13
Oh,
years.
man, that hurt.
Oh,
That
I
hurt,
love you, buddy.
that
I love
hurt
you, buddy.
worse than my neck injury right there. That was
I'll adjust it again,
brutal.
don't worry.
It's unreal.
I love it.
But to know that there's somebody to say, hey, yeah, this is what you need to have done. Find somebody that can do this for you.
That's right,
that You
yes.
got somebody looking over your shoulder. That's awesome.
That's right.
All right. We're going to need to take a break. Anything else from Perry before?
I don't know, Perry, what would you like to share?
Anything burning a hole in your soul right now?
Okay, well, it's not only my my neck that got corrected.
Mm-hmm.
They're also working on my lower back, and when I get the treatment and I get off the treatment bed, it's like from my hips up, I'm weightless. And pain-free, stress-free. It's just a wonderful, euphoric experience.
So when you
It's
heard
beautiful.
us on WDCX saying that Dr. Dimitri could help you, now you know we weren't lying.
Yeah, well,
We were telling you the truth.
yeah,
That's
oh, yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, the WDCX. It's all about the way, the truth, and life. Yes.
Amen.
Wow. That's a great story. Great testimony. Thank you for sharing that. We get the opportunity here to meet another one of the colleagues of Dr. Dimitri, Dr. Irina, and I am not in any way going to try to say your last name. Do you have your microphone there? Can you help me with the last name?
It's Dr. Irina Ovchinnikova. So we'll just stick to Dr. Irina.
Ovchinnikova. Okay. Say it again. What?
Like a famous hockey player, Ovchinnikova.
Oh,
It's
man.
Just,
Okay. Dr. Irina O. I'll just go with that.
Yeah, always good.
You have an amazing story that I just caught wind of, and your relationship with this practice and becoming a chiropractor. So we got to hear that story. There's no way you're getting out of here without telling us that story.
Yeah, so I've been with Dr. Dimitri for a long time now. I think it's more than 10 years.
The relationship started of actually building this practice. So her father was involved. I'm not going to steal the story, but her father was involved here as an electrician.
Okay.
So basically, I was in undergraduate school at that time, and I was at crossroads. I thought I would want to become a dentist, but I wasn't sure. And then my dad was hired by Dr. Dimitri to do electrical work here at the clinic when he just opened up the place. And then my dad was like, you know what, you got to go talk to the doctor and see what he has to say. And so I did. I became a patient first, actually, and my whole family became patients, my dad, my mom, my brother. And, and I was just so fascinated because like my mom, for example, had migraines her entire life, and all of a sudden the migraines went away. Then my little brother had digestive issues. We were considering surgery, and that resolved. And I was like, oh my God, I want to be able to do that. So basically, Dr. Dimitri inspired me to pursue chiropractic, and I believe that was a God's intervention 100%, because if it wasn't for him, I would have never been exposed to this.
Tell me about the I don't know why I'm thinking this, but based on what you just said, it popped in my head. The idea, and I hope I word it right, the non-invasive nature of chiropractic care. We're not talking about surgery, and we're not talking about pharmaceuticals. We're talking about, correcting the spinal column, putting the spinal column back in line so it's not pinching any of the nerves. There's something really natural about that, and I wonder how attractive that was to you.
That's exactly what attracted me, actually, because, listen, like everybody in my family, up to fourth generation, are medical doctors of all kinds of different subspecialties. And I wanted to bring about health naturally, because I believed in the body's innate capacity to self-heal. And this is exactly, why I am where I am. It was my calling to do that naturally.
You were created to do this.
100%.
So was Dr. Dimitri. I'm 100% convinced of it.
Yes.
Wow. So, and then how long officially have you been a chiropractor?
Since 2016.
Okay. And on staff here the entire time?
Oh, yeah. So before that, I was a patient, and I was doing a front desk, so I was doing reception work, and now I'm one of the associates.
Really? What a progression. That's amazing. Like, we all eventually go for the annual checkup to see our medical doctor. Like, can you imagine working alongside the medical doctor at some point? But God, burdened your heart to go the natural route. You mentioned you have medical doctors in your family. How do they view you as a chiropractor? Because obviously help me out here, Doc, if you don't mind. Because there's some conflict here. Like a medical doctor might say, well, I think you need medication and you need this kind of treatment. Whereas a chiropractor might take a different approach entirely. And do you guys run into that kind of conflict? Let me ask you, because you've got the family.
Yes. So my uncle, actually, we're really close. He's a plastic surgeon. And he asked me to adjust him. And then we had a conversation. And he said, what you do, this is the best thing you can offer a patient.
Why did he say that?
Because it's natural, and because he understands the power of the brain and the spinal cord and the importance of the spine. Mm-hmm. And when he said that to me, I was crying, because, it was just affirmation that, this is meant for me.
How do you feel about, let's say the community or people that live in the Toronto area, or anywhere really, the receptiveness to natural forms of healing as opposed to, it seems to me that the tide is beginning to shift, that people are like really not trusting big pharma. Don't give me, because a lot of times you get on some medication, we've all seen this with older people, and then you got to take a medication to counteract the effects of the medication. And then another one on top of that, and all of a sudden people have 8, 10, 12 medications they're taking. And by God's grace, I don't think it was really meant to be that way.
No, absolutely.
Agree with
not.
that?
No, well, I think it is shifting. I think people are starting to realize that the current healthcare in place is failing. I mean, like, we have opioid crisis going on, you know, and I think people are more receptive to the natural approaches to health.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. D, what do you think?
Yeah, totally. Like, for example, everything has a place on earth. I mean, surgery is needed sometimes, and you know, we refer sometimes if I see a surgical need. I mean, there is a place for everything, and somehow everything can be benefited. But I'm a professor in a couple of colleges in the United States, like New York Chiropractic College and Davenport, and I have lots of friends who are medical doctors, and you know, they're doing a great job sometimes too often, and what is needed when it's needed. But one of the my friends, he's a professor of surgery in medical school, and like we talk about all the time on the different topics of health, and he said, you know what, surgery is really a last resort. Like, this is the last resort that people have to use, absolutely the last, and often, unfortunately, it's the first thing that they go into, and then they're trying to undo it. It's almost impossible, because when the intervention is done, it's not only recommended for us not to touch it, but even if we engage, it's very hard to undo the help, let's put it this way, I'm not going to say harm, that done by surgery itself, by incision and internal scar tissue and even fusion of the spine. Like, that is impossible to undo. So, and the way that chiropractic care and chiropractic profession is designed, that, by the way, many people don't know that we are primary healthcare providers by Registered Healthcare Professional Act. So ideally, people have to come to us first, and then we do diagnosis, analysis, and care as natural as possible. And this may not work for everyone because of advancement of the condition and maybe delay in the treatment, many different ways. So then we refer down the road for medical care. But unfortunately, because many people don't know that information, that you can talk to chiropractor about any topic about health. We are very well educated in all of this aspect and had to pass all the exams on that and be qualified to do that. And they bypass chiropractic and the natural health, and they go right away to a medical system, and they get into the stream, and then we became the last that they're going to see, which is unfortunately almost often too late. And
that's backwards.
And it's backward, exactly. So, and instead of us being first in this chain of event, we became last because the first step is bypassed. And I understand why it's happening, because people get confused. They get a health card and they think that this health card is supposed to, I don't know, we're not talking about the United States, but I'm talking about Canada. So people get the health card, and unfortunately this health card only used while you're sick. So it's truly a sick card. But reality is that
that's a good point. Yeah.
That's the OHIP, Ontario Health Insurance Program. It's based on insurance, and insurance is supposed to cover incidents and accidents and take care of critical points. It's not taking care of health, meaning OHIP does not cover your gym exercises, or gym membership does not cover potable water, hygiene does not cover dental care, does not cover chiropractic care, massage, acupuncture, nutritional consulting. Nothing that is healthy covered by OHIP. But we're grateful that we have that system, because we can get access to emergency care, which may be costly, but never mind, last year 15,000 Canadians died waiting for the surgery, just because how overwhelmed the system is from the sickness and disease. And that's where we want to encourage people, you know, we are accessible. We are easily accessible. You can call us, schedule an appointment. It's going to take you a week, 2, 3, maybe to get to one of our doctors. We have also Dr. Matthew, who's going to talk about it. You're going to hear him later on. And so take care of your health while you can. Don't wait until you're in critical point and you need medical care, because it's truly the last resort.
So, Dr. Irina, one more question here for you. Given that you've seen what chiropractic care can do to help heal the human body, what kinds of things, I mean, even maybe in some of your own patients, the kinds of things, you mentioned your mom, was benefited in dealing with the migraine issue, that was taken care of, went away. So what other things have you seen that chiropractic care has been able to help. Like, for instance, if somebody had a compound fracture of their leg and their leg's flopping around, gruesome injuries on the field, you're probably not going to get an adjustment. And see
Go get the surgery done, okay?
Yeah.
So if you compound fracture and body part is hanging on a loose tissue, don't come to our office, okay? Because we're going to send you right away to the surgery. So, but when the surgery is done and everything is put together, they may save your life, God bless. I mean, it's in the good intent, but then come to us and we'll help you to heal better.
Yeah.
To get it to a natural state as much as possible.
But, Perry was talking earlier about neck pain. People have back pain. I've been through several incidents, and thank God I never had surgery. So, thank God that the human body can heal. But, what kinds of things have you seen that have been effective? Because people have arthritis. They have immunity issues. Their immune system's not strong. Tinnitus, spinal stenosis, whatever. I'm throwing out all kinds, right? How many different things?
I think quite a lot of conditions actually we've all witnessed improving. Just about anything from migraines to neck pain to sciatica to back pain, to, women not able to conceive a child, so all of a sudden, being able to conceive and deliver a healthy baby. Just about anything, it's amazing to see how body is able to do what it's designed to do when it's working optimally. Right.
But the reality is that the chiropractic is not specific to the condition that you achieve. Remember, God breathed the life into us. He made us in a perfect understanding how we're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So all we are doing is to removing interference, and this healing restores that dysfunction, this dis-is, disease in the system, yes. And that's why we see so many different miracles. For someone is going to be improving in breathing, improving in digestive tract, improving in cardiovascular strength, whatever. But it's not designed to be specific. The way that it works, like a baby, think about baby. Baby is born, they're not even conscious enough to realize that, they're alive yet. They obviously so obviously the body is knowing it doesn't work. It does. Okay. So this baby, if they cut the hand or break the bone, body knows how to heal it. It's a God's given gift to us. Body knows how to bring it to a perfect state. So, and that's when we remove the interference from the nervous system, body is going to a natural state of healing. In fact, I can tell you, all the healing that we see is the side effect of proper health care, proper chiropractic care for the body.
Any final thing you want to say? I mean, you really opened my eyeballs with that infertility comment, because that's something I would never even thought of. Never. And you've literally seen people...
Yes, women who's been struggling for a long time, all of a sudden they start to get adjusted, the nervous system is working better, and they're able to conceive.
Well, uterus works better, organs work better, ovaries work better. And usually we see it when actually couples get adjusted.
And there's this synergy there, right? Because when everything's cooperating with each other the way it was supposed to, everything gets better.
Yes, like Dr. Dimitri said, we're not treating a specific condition, all right? We don't cure anything here, all right? All we're doing, we're taking the pressure off the nervous system, and we allow the body to heal and function the way that God designed it to heal and function, because it's in us to heal. It's in us to be healthy in His perfect image.
And by the way, He knows, this power knows better than us. Our academic mind sometimes gets on the way, so sometimes... people say, oh, you're such a good healer. And I always trying to, no, I'm not a healer. The healing is within you. The best doctor is within you. Because when God created us, He knows exactly how we're supposed to be.
That's right.
Here we are. And lo and behold, my good friend Bernice from Oshawa, she's a regular caller. You'll recognize this voice. She calls the program periodically. We talk about some of the great things God has done in her life over the years. But you're a patient of Dr. Dimitri.
Yes, I am, and I have been since May of 2020. I called...
Wait a minute, May of 2020?
That's
so
5
you
years.
were coming to him during COVID?
Yes. Oh, yeah, that was fun. Masks and...
So you were spreading that disease, trying to kill everyone, weren't you?
Absolutely. As long as I'm healthy.
I'm so glad that you came here. and help keep Dr. Dimitri open during the whole COVID thing, because a lot of people got fearful, rightfully so, but that's a long time. That's like 5 years almost.
It is 5 years. Yes.
All right, so tell me about that journey. By the way, thank you for the sourdough bread.
Oh, you're welcome.
This loaf of sourdough bread literally weighs, I don't know what it is in like grams, but it weighs about 10 pounds. It's unbelievable. That thing is amazing. Thank you. Okay, but you've been coming, how come? Why do you?
Well, I do believe in chiropractic, and I have had treatment in past years, and I was at a point where my body wasn't functioning properly. I knew I needed to find a good chiropractor, and through WDCX, my favorite radio station on the planet.
Thank you.
And Neil's my favorite guy.
Amen.
Next to Dr. Dimitri.
That's amazing.
Anyway.
Wait, more? Oh, next to? You mean more than or less than?
Oh, you guys are all the same. So many men, so little time. Once you're like a brother, he's like a son.
Okay, all right. Thanks
old.
for the age reference. Appreciate that.
Anyway, I had just gone through surgery and through a knee replacement surgery a month or so before, and you wonder what the adjustment in the back and the neck does to the knee. Mm-hmm. Well, it works. It aligns the whole body. And through chiropractic treatment, I was quicker healing in after the knee surgery. And then I had another knee surgery and a hip surgery. And like I said, they don't do knees, they don't do surgeries, but the healing is much quicker if the body's in alignment. So I've been coming here for 5 years. I 55 kilometers. In miles, that's about 30 miles, I guess, for you. US
so
people.
You're in the Oshawa area, so you come about
Oshawa.
30 miles. That says something.
Yeah.
Because of, obviously, you're getting a benefit out of that drive.
Absolutely.
Love it. What about the other aspect? Like, I'm looking here, 1 Corinthians 6, 19 and 20 is on the wall over there. It says, Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought with a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. The fact that Dr. Dimitri approaches this entire thing, understanding that God's the creator, that he knew what he was doing, and he created our bodies to be able to heal themselves. As a believer, that has to be comforting to know that he's working in cooperation with God's plan in the first place.
Absolutely. And I just want to add, too, I'm over 70, and many people my age are on, like you said earlier, numerous medications. I take one pill for thyroid. That's all the medication I'm on. I let the body heal itself. I do natural things to look after myself. So I'm a lot healthier than a lot of people my age because of the treatment I receive here.
I love it. Absolutely love it. And grateful that you're willing to share your story with us. So Bernice from Oshawa, you were always welcome on NBL.
Thank you.
God bless you. And thank you again for the sourdough bread. It's unbelievable.
You're welcome.
We love being here, and we love the partnership we have with Dr. Dimitri. We're going to get a chance to meet another one of the patients here real quick, and then Dr. Matt Turjan will join us, and he's part of the team here at Healthy Kids and Family Chiropractic. But, Pat, I was talking with you earlier, and you mentioned that I should say hello to, who was that, your son?
Ryan, my son Ryan.
Ryan.
And Joyce, my sister, and her son Rupert. They are a fan of WDCX. We do listen to you as much as we get the chance.
I love
that. That's how my sister learned of Dr. Dimitri, just listening to your show.
Look at that.
Yes.
And
it's been a while. I don't want to say the years.
Okay. That's okay. That's fair enough. But what about you? You're a patient here, obviously, for how long? A while? For a while.
Let's say 11 years.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, about that.
And can you say anything about your experience? Like what brought you here and what keeps you here?
Well, my sister, of course, she told me about Dr. Dimitri, and we came and was very faithful, coming, seeing results that kept us coming. I really didn't have an issue, but of course, learning of what it is and how important it is to take care of your body, doing adjustments and what it does. That was the reason why we continued to come. And I have seen great improvement. I used to get a lot of headaches, no more headaches, really bad headaches, no more. And I'm able to walk much better, sit up much better, bend, and do a lot more. And one thing I want to say, what keeps me coming, the atmosphere, the doctors, Dr. Dimitri and his team, Dr. Matt, Dr. Irene, and all the other workers, you see that they care about people, your health, and the encouragement, the classes when you come, what you learn, you just want to be a part of this to let your body be restored, be healed, and as you be consistent in coming and doing your part, exercise, health, eating nutritious meals and doing the right thing, you see great improvement. And I do encourage people to do chiropractic care because it is important. If we desire to take care of this temple, we ought to do what's right. Mm-hmm. And so I am grateful to be a part of just coming here, taking the treatments, doing what I need to do. And Dr. Dimitri, he's blessed. He's blessed. And the knowledge that he imparts to us, and the more he shares, the more you want to just be a part of this. Testimonies that he share with us, you just tell yourself, you can't stop now. I have told myself that. Many times I feel like just quitting, but I keep reminding myself, no, it's all about having a healthy body, doing what's right, and so, to live a little bit longer, if I may say, but more so taking care of the temple of God, which is important. So I give God thanks for that.
Yeah, and what I picked up on what you were saying earlier, and you've underscored that as you were sharing your story, is the idea of like what I would call preventative maintenance. It isn't just, because sometimes when I'm talking about Dr. Dimitri on the air, I say, listen, if you've got back or neck pain, why walk around with that? Get it taken care of. If you've got migraine headaches, go see Dr. Dimitri. But that's at the point where somebody's already suffering. Yes. Why not stay healthy through proper chiropractic care,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Ward off any of the problems that might come your way later.
Yes,
and that's kind of your approach.
Yes.
I love
it.
Exactly. All right. Well, Pat, thank you for sharing your story and coming all this way.
Thank you too, Neil.
Say hello to your whole family.
I will. And it was really nice meeting you. And also Matt on the side.
Matt Mariacker of WDCX is here with me today. He made the trip all the way up here to hang out with us.
All right, yes. We're loving it.
Well, we came here because we love you guys. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you so much.
God bless you.
God bless you.
All right, so here's an opportunity to meet another member of the team. And I forget what Dr. Dimitri said about that, but there's an acronym for the word team. Dr. Matt, do you remember what it was? Welcome, by the way.
Welcome, Neil. Thanks for having me.
What did he mean? TEAM? What does that mean?
Team. Together, everybody achieves more.
Ah, okay. And do you feel like you're part of the team? You're obviously on staff.
Absolutely. And it's an interesting story how the team kind of got built up. Not many people know, but that Dr. Dimitri and I, we actually went to school together.
Really?
We went to
chiropractic school.
Chiropractic school. Yeah, we both graduated in the same year. But what happened at that point, everybody seems to go on their way. Like we all graduate, everybody kind of does their thing. Mm-hmm. And I was working at a different clinic for a number of years, and we had basically lost touch for a number of years. Now, and you know that Dr. Dimitri is huge into kiteboarding, but did you know that I'm also hugely into kiteboarding too?
Oh, well, what I hear, because, people talk, and I've got sources, and what I hear is that Dr. Dimitri kind of follows your lead when it comes to kiteboarding. Dr. Matt being a little bit humble here, but that Dr. Dimitri maybe is the scaredy cat that's afraid to go out in the middle of the lake, but has to follow Dr. Matt out there sometimes.
That's true.
How does this work exactly?
Okay, but this is really interesting because we both started kiteboarding independently.
Okay.
Without knowing that each other was doing kiteboarding.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Now, so it's kind of on the sly? Like you didn't want, or you just never talked about it?
We had lost touch for a couple of years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like we reconnected actually in the store where we were shopping for our gear. And I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm kiteboarding. He's like, I'm kiteboarding too. I'm like, you're going to be kidding me.
I think it would have been funny if you passed each other on the lake. Right?
We probably did. We just did. We were so, I probably was so scared and he was probably so engaged. So we probably did. We just did not notice each other.
Okay. but Matt Mariacker here of our WDCX staff, valued employee. He said that he saw a video of one of you. Which one was it? I don't know. It was Dr. Dimitri, I guess, on his kite board. You know, you're holding on a kite and you're kind of on like a surfboard kind of thing.
Oh,
right?
it's a hydrofoil. We're not actually touching the water. We are flying above the water on a micro airplane that under the water.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Hey, this is the fastest sailing sport.
Yeah. But you were passing jet skis.
Yeah, of course.
Like, you know, see you later. All right. Okay.
We like to tease them because, you know, they think that they're fast and we just like to play with them a little bit.
Wow. So, and does that depend, Dr. Matt, does that depend on the wind, right? If the wind's right, you can go faster than a jet ski? Because what if you got no wind?
With kiteboarding, this is sailing sport.
Mm-hmm.
You can technically go about 3 times faster than the wind speed.
Really?
Yeah. And
So-
because it's a hydrofoil, there's so little resistance.
So wait a minute.
We
I
can
mean,
go so fast. If you watch these events, like we like to do some racing. Now we've done some international competitions, and we're racing beside people. We may only be an arm's length away,
really? Going
and going
60,
about
70.
about 30 miles an hour.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty fast.
Okay, but wait a minute. What if the wind speed is 30? Couldn't, 30 miles per hour. I can't do the kilometer conversion thing, but let's just say
At that point, I think it's skills will limit, and your fear factor will limit how fast you'd be able to take that. There's definitely a limit, but
Who's got a higher
some of
threshold?
the top people in the world can get up to 36, 37 miles an hour, or actually no, knots. Sorry, which is even faster. It's more like 40 miles an hour on the water.
elevated above the water. How high above the water?
About 60 to 80 centimeters we're hovering because of the waves.
Right. Okay. And who's got the higher tolerance? Who's less fearful?
I think it depends on the day.
He didn't want to say it.
Some days
He doesn't
it's
want to throw
funny.
his boss under the bus. Is the bottom line?
No, some of the days it's really interesting. Some days Dr. D and I were both riding together, and I'm just beating the pants off him. And I'm just like, it's like he just shut down. It's like he just turned it off. But in some other days, he's right up there and he can kick my butt, or we're right there, like just neck and neck. But some other days, you might be like, "What's going on? Your angle was like off by like 5 to 10 degrees. What's going on?"
Do you also have all the stats on your phone? Because Dr. Dimitri usually pulls them out and says, like, "Hey, look, I came out of the water. I went 90 meters, and before I landed, I don't know what he's showing me all these stats, and literally GPS is tracking where he's been."
we both monitor with through Garmin watches, GPS tracking. You can kind of see your distance, your track, your speeds, average speeds. Kind of gives us an idea of performance on that session.
Where in
as
Lake
well, too.
Ontario do you do this?
You can go numerous places. It kind of
Ever anywhere near like the Burlington Bridge?
No, we usually stay further east. We'd like to go to Frenchman's Bay pretty often. One of the hot spots in Toronto is go down to Cherry Beach, a very popular kiteboarding spot. And there's multiple beaches that you can go near Toronto as well too.
Okay, but if you're ever down there in February, right?
Yeah.
And the wind is blowing and it's just frigid, and you see kiteboarders out in the water, it could be these two guys. Could be.
Totally. Most likely.
Yeah. Something is really wrong.
It's
about
funny,
that
it's
whole
funny the way that we
scenario.
got into kiting because both Dimitri and myself, we were both high-level athletes. Like Dimitri was an Olympic swimmer.
Right.
I was an Olympic trampolinist. I competed in 2 Olympic Games for Canada. Back in 2000 and 2004, I won a bronze medal for Canada.
How high do you go on the trampoline? 'Cause
About 20 to 25 feet high, and we do triple somersaults, multiple twists. I was known at one point, I had the world record for the most difficult routine ever performed. I like to finish my routine with a quadruple twisting double back layout, which is one of the hardest tricks that you could do at that time.
That's not that hard.
The sports actually progress nowadays. When I see some of the athletes nowadays, they're on more powerful equipment. They can jump an extra 5 feet. And a lot of times now athletes are doing 3 to 5 triple somersaults in one 10-trick routine, and then doing all the multiple twisting in the double somersaults.
Okay, so he's a nationally ranked swimmer. And if the Soviet Union hadn't broken up when it did, he would have represented the Soviet Union in the Olympics.
Yeah.
But then when it dissolved, Belarus didn't have a national team. It didn't have an Olympic team.
Yeah, well, we didn't even have a National Olympic Committee created. So when in 1991 Soviet Union collapsed, like every republic went by itself. And then by the time we established National Olympic Committee to be registered with International Olympic Committee, it took years. So 92 Barcelona would have been my year, but then, you know, all this economic and political problems has basically destroyed the career of many, many talented athletes.
So you
Not
were
like me.
a swimmer,
I was just
and then
a hard worker.
What do you call it? A trampolinist? Like, what's the word?
Trampolinist, exactly. It's under the umbrella of gymnastics.
But you actually went to the Olympics.
I competed twice. Yeah. 2000.
Where?
So Sydney in 2000.
Okay.
And Athens in 2004.
And he got a bronze medal. You want to hold it? I have it here. We can bring you hold the bronze
Do you really
medal.
have
Yeah,
it?
give me one
We do.
second. I'll bring it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
There goes
Dimitri,
Dr.
go get it.
Dimitri's going to get Dr. Matt's
So
bronze medal.
now trampoline's one of those sports where it's pretty extreme. You jump in like really high, do multiple somersaults, flips, and twists. So I always had that edge to me. Like I wanted to do something extreme that, you know, drives the adrenaline and stuff that's pretty exciting that way. Now we went to chiropractic college between 2004 and 2008. So then I had to, you know, basically hang it up, stop. I couldn't continue the sport. I achieved everything that I could. Finished chiropractic college, but I needed something. I needed something that I could sink my teeth into to get that excitement up. And while I was competing in international competitions, I would sometimes see in some of the maybe some of the coastal towns where we do some of our competitions, I could see some kiteboarders in the ocean, jumping off waves, doing tricks, somersaults, and in the back of my head, I was always thinking, "Wow, I need to do that."
That's amazing.
And this is the funny way of how I got into the sport now. So so I'm graduated. I'm a chiropractor. My trampoline coach, whose name is Dave Ross, who had actually purchased a trainer kite around that time. He lent it to me for say a couple weeks. So I basically took it out to parks, felt the power that a kite could generate to pull you. And then I was essentially hooked. I just decided this is what I need to be working on. This is what I need to do.
I'm sorry, I was taking a picture of him holding the bronze medal from the Sydney Olympics. Is that what it said?
This is the Sydney 2000 Olympics.
Oh, my goodness. So all of this has kind of played together for you. And as an athlete, you know the problems that, I mean, it's not just as a human being, but as an athlete, you know the problems that injury can create and the value of keeping our bodies operating at peak performance. So I got to believe that somehow this is interwoven with your own passion for health.
Okay, so now let me bring this back to chiropractic now.
Sure.
So how did I get involved with chiropractic? So my mother had some health issues. She was suffering from fibromyalgia for many, many years. And then she discovered chiropractic. This is when I was very young. And then she appreciated the benefits it was having in her life. And then she started dragging me to the chiropractor as well, too. So I was actually a chiropractic patient, like in my younger years as well, too, and going through sport. So I also knew I had a firsthand knowledge of, wow, this is the benefits that can happen, which helped me through sport, keep me injury-free, help me heal faster from everything that I'm doing and putting my body, like all the stress I was putting my body under. And then as I went to university, I always thought, you know, hey, this is chiropractic. I need to figure out a way how to become a chiropractor.
Dr. Dimitri just brought over these Ironman things. Are these yours as well?
No, that's Dr. D. He's on another level. So Ironman and these suffer sports is not my thing.
Okay. So, Doc, come on, sit down here again. Tell me about these Ironman things, because you guys are unbelievable, the two of you. And I think we all know that an Ironman is grueling and everything else, but I'm not sure we know the exact stats. Isn't that like you got to run a marathon?
Yeah, so Ironman is a triathlon. You have to do swim first, then bike, and run. So swim, bike, run.
And you're a swimmer. How long do you got to swim?
So being a swimmer in Ironman is the worst thing ever, because I always come up first of the water. Mm-hmm. But then I'm very bad on the bike. I've never been a good biker. So everybody passing me. So it's like, it's basically
but then you smoke them on the run, right?
Ego punching moments but the bike is the most important, and then you run. Usually depends on the distance. Half Ironman, it's a 2 kilometers swim, 96 kilometers bike, and 21 kilometers run. Full Ironman is 4 kilometers swim, 180 kilometers bike, and 42 kilometers run, all in once.
First of all, I would never make the swim, period. I don't care, how long it took. I would never be able to swim that far. But on the other part, it would take me months to be able to do all that. That's unbelievable. That is really amazing. But don't you credit your healthy body with being able to sustain you during these kind of things?
Well, I credit God for this because God created this body. So, but honestly, without taking care of this properly, it would never be able to. It's impossible. I can tell you, every elite athlete who is performance oriented either have chiropractor or seen them on a regular basis or have some kind of chiropractic care involved in their life. Like, there is no way you can possibly achieve any high performance without proper nervous system or spinal function. It's impossible. Like, yes, you can do it. I'm not arguing this, but not to the highest possible level. Because no matter how good you are, if you get performance enhancement, it's always better. So you can always add more. That's all. And there are lots of science behind it. If anybody question and just chat GPT, ask chiropractic care, what is the benefit for elite level athlete, and it will provide you lots of information. I can talk here all day long, but this is the fastest way.
Well, Dr. Matt, the other thing is that you're French Canadian, is that correct?
That's right. I was born in Pointe-Claire in Quebec, and then moved here in Toronto when I was very young. My father used to work for IBM, and his job took him here. And so I grew up in this area.
So you're fluent in French?
French and English.
Okay, say something like, NBL is by far and away the most incredible radio show on the planet. Say that in French.
Et cette station de radio, c'est la meilleure au monde.
Oui. I think, is that French, oui?
C'est français.
Okay.
Oui.
Do you know that I took 4 years of French in high school? Sometimes I listen to French radio driving home from Toronto just to see if I can pick up a word, and I hear him say like cheese, or that's about it.
Fromage.
Yeah, fromage, du fromage. Yeah. But the reason I bring up the language thing is because you speak Russian as well as English.
Конечно.
If I say Pust Bog Blagoslavit Tabia, does that mean anything to you?
Конечно. It says, may God bless you in Russian.
Okay, see, I learned how to say that in Russian.
That's good.
I can speak more Russian than French, and I took 4 years in high school.
Actually, when you look us up on Google, Healthy Kids and Family Chiropractic, it actually says French speaking.
Exactly.
Does it really?
It does. Really? Did you change that?
That's funny.
Well, we actually have a very talented team here. Every doctor here speaks more than one language. So I speak 2 or 3, maybe 4. Dr. Irina speaks another 2. So Dr. Tommy speaks another Tamil. So Dr. Matthew French, I can speak Russian, Ukrainian, and Belarusian, and a little bit of Polish, a little bit of English, a little bit of Spanish. Dr. Tommy speaks a little bit Tamil. And,
well, for a multicultural city, that matters, though. That's good.
Yeah. And we are so blessed to actually serve many different cultures here. It's amazing how, we truly embrace multiculturalism here in Healthy Kids.
Love it. Well, Dr. Matt, speak from your heart. Let our listeners know why they ought to give you guys a call. You guys are passionate about this. I love it. And you personally experience the benefits of chiropractic care. So, Dr. Matt Turgeon, your chance to give the final word before our break.
Chiropractic care is the most widely used alternative health care in Canada. And if you've never had your spine checked, give us a call. Let us do a complete, full physical examination, structural and physical exam. If we need to take x-rays, we can do that as well, too. The health benefits are immeasurable from if we're looking through sports performance, just through daily life, activities of daily living, if just general mobility, even as students, athletes, school, improvements in grades. There's so many options, so many ways of health benefits. So give us a call, and we'll see what we can do to help you out.
All right. That's Dr. Matt of Healthy Kids and Family Chiropractic. Actual medal winner in the Olympics, 2-time Olympian, trampolinist, and, of course, Dr. Dimitri, swimming for the national team in Belarus, would have gone to the Olympics if the Soviet Union hadn't dissolved. I guess we'll blame that on Ronald Reagan or something. who knows? But either way, grateful to be here live at Healthy Kids and Family Chiropractic. And Dr. Matt just said give him a call. The number is 416-642-2602. And obviously you can find them on our advertiser page at WDCXradio.com. So I'm going to get a chance to meet somebody new here today, but a longtime listener apparently, Henry, who's a pilot. Is that correct?
Oh, yes. I've just started being an airline pilot for the last 3 years, but I've been a longtime listener of WDCX. I've always loved how you preach the truth and, the unashamed truth and the real truth for everyone. And it's really much needed. And I love how you're blasting signal all the way up north to us here in Canada.
Do you ever listen on AM 970?
I've tried to tune actually into the AM. There's actually a radio on the plane that's actually equivalent to the AM radio. So I've actually been trying to tune into it a few times.
While you're flying.
Yeah. To see what's going on. I've done that once or twice. I gotta admit.
That's amazing.
It's called an ADF radio, which actually points straight to, I think, Rochester, because it points to the place. It's a navigational device. It's a very old system, but it points straight to Rochester, I think, because it's
incredible.
Out of Rochester, I think
So what you're flying the big jets?
Yeah, the 737.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you ever get scared up there?
Not really.
Because all the pilots always sound super calm.
Yeah, we kind of have to be, because we have to let our passengers feel calm too at the same time. So even if things are not going that well, we've been trained in the simulator a lot too for all sorts of situations. So twice a year we go into the simulator for sessions where basically the plane breaks every 3 minutes and we have to land it basically.
Well, the good news is it's coming down one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to get.
And it's all in God's will. I believe that when
it's going to get to the
up,
ground,
it's God gently lifting us up, and if it lands safely, it's God gently lowering the plane
down. I love it.
Amen.
So, but you sit a lot as a pilot, and why do you need chiropractic care?
Oh, definitely more than ever. Because before I was working in IT, I was sitting at a desk. Actually, I was pretty surprised because I used to work just 5 minutes north of here, and I used to live probably 10 minutes from here. So it was really easy to come for a lot of sessions. But I moved 30 minutes, 40 minutes north, and then now I work at the airport, but I still come here all the time. And I've seen a difference where, even though I'm sitting at a desk for hours, I still get up and everything. But, in the flight deck, especially on the 737, it's such a small, confined flight deck that and I'm doing 5-hour flights each way. So I try to get up to use the washroom once, but other than that, I'm just sitting there all the time. And even Dr. Dimitri himself has told me, there were times when he's seen my body kind of need more adjustments because it's so much sitting. And it's if I don't know what my body would do without.
And I've never flown a plane myself, obviously, but I would imagine that it's a little bit tense too, that you're very focused in a confined area for 5 hours.
Especially for takeoffs and landings. You're especially if it's your leg, I do get tensed up and everything. And I can tell the difference when my body hasn't been to Cairo for a week. And it's Dr. Dimitri's recommendation of once a week to go to Cairo. It's very important for my body. I could actually feel it when I don't have.
Wow. We're getting short on time, so let me just ask,
Sure.
What would you say about Dr. Dimitri to any of our listeners right now about the value of being here and why they should consider coming to see him?
I think, honestly, if you're in the area, come now. It's as simple as that. Come now. Get yourself checked out. There's, I believe that with my profession right now, I need chiropractic care more than anything, but we had the conversation just last week that it's for everyone, and everyone needs it. And, even if your body feels like you're not in pain, or maybe you've been in pain and then after a while you don't feel anything, it's just your body getting used to the misalignment, but the misalignment is still there and it needs to be ironed out through chiropractic care.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your story, Henry,
having me,
and for coming over here to say hello. I feel very honored. Next time I see a 737, I'll think of you.
Thank you so much, and God bless you in your ministries at WDCX, and keep on preaching the truth to everyone in North America.
I guarantee we will, by God's grace.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your encouragement. Dr. Tommy, real quick, your own family, you're not only on staff here, but your own family benefits from what's going on here, and chiropractic care has been a benefit to your family in general?
Yeah, I would say one of the biggest blessings of coming here as first an intern and then a doctor is getting my whole family under care. It's amazing. I went through chiropractic college and I learned more here than I did throughout the college.
Really?
I had so much more to learn, and I had my whole family involved. We've had 3 kids. We're on to our 4th. We're expecting our 4th child now. The 3rd one, I would never have believed 5-10 years ago that I would have had a home birth. The amazing thing about this place is it's not just the adjustments, it's the health education. It's really a health culture. You're going to change so many aspects of your life. You're going to get adjusted, but you're also going to get healthier overall. And my whole family, and I would say it's almost generations, my parents, my brother, his family. My brother was struggling to have a child and was able to have his first child. So there's so many benefits, and it's almost like a generational pattern. So it's amazing.
Well, I love that you're sharing that. And I want to ask our friend over here, Victoria. She is a very special young lady and maybe a little bit nervous to tell me this story. But tell me, if you don't mind, the thing you most appreciate about Dr. Dimitri and what they've been able to do for you here.
I appreciate how he's very caring and that he has faith that you can be healed. He has faith in God that you can be healed, and that I just really appreciate everything that he does.
I love it. You have the prettiest hair ever.
Thank you.
And coming from a guy who doesn't have any, I really wish I had cool hair. But I just love your heart, and I love that you're willing to share that story with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
And are you feeling okay now? Because you did.
Yes,
She was a little nervous earlier.
Feeling
92 billion people just heard you say all that. That's amazing. And you did great. Thank you so much, Victoria. That's great. We literally are down to about a minute and a half. And I just want to ask you, Dr. Tommy, anything else you would want to share with those who are a little bit hesitant? People are thinking, well, I don't know. Should I do it? Should I not? Should I come in and get an evaluation? I mean, you guys treat WDCX listeners very favorably. We've got a studio audience here today of people that stopped in, but this is an opportunity for people to connect with better health, like preventative and ongoing, right?
Of course, and the amazing thing is you truly have nothing to lose. To come in, get examined, it's all natural. There's nothing that you have to put in any risk. You're in good hands here with all the doctors and the team, and just expect amazing results. And I can't wait to hear your testimony as well.
All right, yeah, and I got an exam that you gave me. You were asking me questions. You did the X-rays, Dr. Dimitri, and you are going to write up a report. It's going to be a long report. I'm in big trouble. But anyway, Dr. Tommy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we literally have 1 minute left. I want to hand that mic over there, if you wouldn't mind, to Dr. Dimitri. Thank you so much for letting us come and hang out, be here, participate. We're down to our final 60 seconds. But, Doc, what do you want to leave with us here? What a day. Thank you for arranging all this.
Oh, thank you for coming. Well, I just want to bless all the listeners and WDCX. And I just want to say a quick prayer. So, Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for providing healing and restoration in our patients and everybody's who listening. And let's be your name, Lord Jesus Christ, be glorified for all of work that you allow us to do, that lay hands on people and heal, and healing happens not only in the body but in the soul, mind, and spirit, so that your name, Lord Jesus Christ, will be glorified. And I want to bless all of the listeners and WDCX with every kind of blessing that they want and they need. So thank you so much for supporting our mission, and thank you for listening, everyone, WDCX, and using all the advertisement partners as a benefit to you. So God bless you all, and thank you, Neil, and thank you, Matt, to come over
welcome
from United States up to Northern Canada. We appreciate that.
Glad to be here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Dimitri. And we're going to take a look at our weather forecast next, and then the Zach Man's going to take you the rest of the way home. Thank you again, all of you here at Healthy Kids and Family Chiropractic. You can find them on our advertiser page at WDCXradio.com or call 416-642-2602.